whole entire series. The MCP server is an old talk, yesterday's talk, and why you should learn this important skill. Because in coming future as well, the streaming is gonna be the field that is gonna explode. And the the main cheese about this channel is I'm gonna give you the visualizations for each and every video. Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. I know. It was long time, 4 months to be precise, since I published my last video, but because of some reasons, I couldn't record any videos. And thank you guys for checking up on me. Some of you even messaged me on Instagram saying, "Are you okay? The videos are not coming." It felt really nice and it felt really warm. But thank you so much. But now that I'm back, I am now planning to make the data engineering series as well as the Gen AI and the LLM series. So throughout these past few months, I've learned a lot about data engineering and where the data engineering is heading towards in the space of Gen AI and LLMs, right? Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through the future of this channel, or what I aim to do next. There's a series that I'm planning to make, a series of videos that I'm planning to make. And I can guarantee you that this channel is going to be the single stop solution for all of your problems related to data engineering, because now what I'm planning now is I'm planning to cover the data engineering concepts at its core. I'm planning to cover Gen AI, agentic AI pipelines, LLMs, and everything related to from the lens of data engineering, like how can you use these skills to be the new age data engineer, a data engineer of 2025, where the data engineering, the entire space is heading towards. I'm planning to make mock interviews. I'm not going to take mock interviews of someone else, but I'll be answering the interview questions that are asked in the data engineering, so that you would know how to answer the questions, or you would know at least how I answered my questions, or how I answer my interview questions, the style of it. The fourth thing that I'm planning to cover is Q&A videos. So post your questions down in the comments, and I will make the Q&A videos on my Instagram. So I'll be posting those Q&A videos on my Instagram. So each question you ask, I'm gonna make a reel for it and then answer that question. So make sure follow me on my Instagram at accidental data engineer. But without a further ado, now let's get started. So I have created this roadmap for you. I will link this down in the description. But if you follow me on LinkedIn, you must have already seen this post. So what I'm planning to do, the coming series in the coming next few months. So I'm planning to go to India this December. So before December, I need to complete this entire series. That's what my plan is. Let me walk you through the entire plan that I've made for this channel. So I'm gonna call this series is from data engineer to AI pioneer, or not exactly the AI pioneer, but AI data engineer. I would call it as AI data engineer. So it's gonna be in three phases. So the first phase is the foundations. The foundations will have three main videos, which is I'll give you in the first video. I'll walk you through the background of the LLM, like what is LLM, how do they work, and what are the basics of LLMs, what are the applications of LLMs, and why you should learn this important skill, despite of you being data engineer, SWE, front-end engineer, back-end engineer, doesn't matter. It's like a DevOps skill. So in coming future, it's going to be the new basic skill that you should have. So you should learn LLM. The second video is text to numbers, wherein I'll be covering like what are the tokens, how do like the background of LLM from the first video. I'll be transferring and going in advanced depths, like what is text to numbers, how do embeddings work, what are embeddings, what are tokens, how do these embeddings make sense to the LLM, and then help answer our questions. So I'm going to go deep into that. And then the third video is the transformer. So the pith of GPT is the T in GPT is the transformer. So I'm going to walk you through the transformer architecture, which is the core of the LLM. So I'm going to walk you through the first Google paper. What is it? Then we'll give you my theory of it, and then I will make it simple for you, like, because the research papers are very very convoluted and hard to understand, to be honest. And the main cheese, or the main thing about this channel, is I'm gonna give you the visualizations for each and every video. So this is the philosophy that I believe, or this is the mantra that I believe. Maybe it has worked for me. So whenever I learn a concept, if I have some visualization in my mind, then it helps me remember those things. It helps me gather that concepts or that knowledge better, compared to if I don't have any visualization, and it's been proven right by the science as well. So I'm going to explain you these concepts in simple terms, and will give you visualizations to to get to know. So even if you are not from data engineering or computer science, you are going to learn these concepts like crazy. Okay, so that's the phase one, but the phase two is the practical applications of the LLM. So I'm going to walk you through prompt engineering. Maybe I'll combine the prompt engineering and the fifth video, which is the RAG for data engineers, which is the most or the more important video compared to the prompt engineering. There are tons of prompt engineering videos already, but I'm going to cover the prompt engineering in just a short period of time, but we'll focus a lot of time on the RAGs, retrieval augmented generation. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. I've made some visualization around the ranks, and like once you see it, the concepts will be clear to you, like crystal water, crystal clear water. The phase three is gonna be the capstone, or the much more hands-on project, wherein it's gonna be the much more hands-on. We're gonna build. So video six is gonna be the data diet, wherein we would go in deep how to clean the data. I will apply data engineering best practices to clean the text, ensuring the optimal performance of an LLM. So I'll show you before and after the cleaning process, how does it work, etc. The video seventh is gonna be, or sixth maybe, once I combine those videos. Sixth gonna be the vector databases, and it's gonna be the most important video for you guys. And I would show you like the performance differences between if we store the vector data store, or the embeddings in the vector data store versus the normal data store. How does it feel different, and what are the advantages of the vector databases, why are they getting popular, and everything. And remember, you should watch all of the videos in sequence to understand everything, because I'll be taking references from the earlier videos in the later videos, so you should watch all of the videos in sequence. The video 8 is going to be, we are going to be building an app, most probably the MCP server, and I'm going to explain you the how we use RAGs, how we used LLMs and everything, and what's going to be the data engineering space, or what's going to be the data engineering mindset in designing all of these all of these functionalities. So there will be one more video that I missed here, will be the MCP servers. I'm going to be covering MCP servers, because the speed at which the revolutions, or the speed at which the AI and the GenAI and everything is growing. I think this is the high time. I think this is late already for you guys, but if you guys found this video, the right time was watching this video yesterday. But I'm gonna walk you through all of these concepts. I'm gonna break down all of the concepts in simple terms for you. But yeah, so your complete journey is, you're here right now, you don't know anything, and like, just imagine yourself, if you know some foundations, then you can skip it to the phases accordingly. But if you don't know anything, I'm gonna assume you don't know anything, and then the phase one, the phase two, and phase three, and then of course, You'll be there, an AI data engineer, or the data engineer of the new age. But yeah, feel free to follow me on my social. This is my YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But yeah, now let's get started. So the first concept is, Where is data engineering heading now in 2025? So so now, if you have watched the previous videos, I have explained you the history of data engineering and how the data engineering came into the picture. If you haven't watched it, go to the playlists and go to the data engineering playlist and watch the videos over there. But in 2025, so in 2025, should I learn Spark? This is the common question that you should ask. You should think that, should I learn all of those basic concepts of data engineering in 2025? So let me answer in this way. So the answer to that is, so I think in 2025 and beyond this as well, the tech is going at the rapid speed. There are more and more startups and there are more and more SaaS services coming up. So there are services already in the market which are built on top of the basic foundations, the basic concepts of data engineering. So back in 2019, when I was a data engineer already, uh, it has started back then, building up these startups, building up you know the wrappers around the basic concept. So let's say, like, the HDFS was there, but there were limitations to HDFS, the Hadoop system, and that's why the Spark came in picture, right? But the Spark as well has, though it was fast, though it was doing everything in memory and all of the fancy stuff that Hadoop couldn't do, there were downsides to it as well, such as Spark cluster management, memory overflow errors, and all of those things, right? But in 2019, there was a dedicated person, a dedicated data engineer who was expert in those particular fields, who will come to the team, solve all of those problems, and make the pipeline up and running again. But what happened in 2021 and 2022 and above is the companies like Databricks, Azure Data Factory, all of these cloud providers or the standalone third-party companies, right? They came into picture, build wrappers on top of Spark so well that they offered Spark clusters or Spark notebooks just as a service, like, software as a service. And these companies and these wrappers are evolved in such a way that in 2025, you don't even have to create your own Spark cluster, or don't even have to manage your Spark cluster. It is managed by the third party company providers and everything. So what I think is, in 2025 or and beyond this point of time, you should master mainly these wrappers. Like, you should be knowing also Data Factory, or you should be knowing the Databricks, how to use Databricks notebooks, how to create Spark cluster, not create Spark cluster, but just create the Spark client and get using Spark. That is one of it. The advancements in the data engineering are so well that these things are going to be, I wouldn't say obsolete, but these things gonna take a back seat, and the ones who will drive are the ones who know how to use these wrappers, who know how to use these new concepts, GenAI concepts, how to build. So the new data engineering pipelines is gonna look like a series of agents, or are working in parallel to do some tasks. If you look at the data engineering pipeline at its core, what it is it's basically, it looks something like this. Okay, so this is like the pipeline wherein you have the data source here. Okay, then you have some raw data storage here, maybe S3 or something like that. Okay, then you would have data processing layer, and then you would have maybe data sink, wherein you would just dump your transform data. you know this is a standard, a generic, a high level overview of the data pipeline, right? So now what I want you to imagine is, if there is a way that this data source can, like, getting data from data source can be automated, or or there will be like one person, one dedicated person, assigned to this task, which we will call as person one. So this person one's responsibility is get the data from source and keep it in our system. That's the responsibility. Okay, so in traditional data pipelines, this person was a Python script or a JavaScript or anything, right, which will get the data and like keep it or process it, whatever it is. Okay, but now imagine like instead of a Python script, it is a person one, or we'll call it as agent one. So an agent will have the specific responsibility to do it. So that why it should be converted to agents, it's something we will cover later, but like let me give you high level idea. Is because this agent can be called by an LLM to do that task independently of the pipeline. So whenever you trigger a pipeline, a series of tasks will trigger. But if you convert that particular functionality into agent, then that agent can be triggered independently by an LLM anytime it wants. So sometimes like at 6 p.m. It feels like get the data, so get it from source, or maybe 7 p.m. or something like that. But if you trigger the data pipeline, it triggers everything. But if you convert it into the separate nodes or separate agents, then you have a more autonomy, more freedom over it to whenever there's a necessity that LLM can feel like it can trigger those actions. Okay, so similarly, agents will be assigned to each and every task for the data pipeline. And then there is this pipeline which would be made, which would be comprised of the different LLMs. Okay, so this is gonna be the agentic pipeline, which can be managed using services like Crew.ai and LangChain and LangGraph and all of those things. We're gonna cover these concepts in detail in the next series, which is gonna be the advanced LLM and everything, which is going to be the advanced LLMs and everything, the concepts like LangGraphs, LangChains, Crew.ai, how to manage these agents, how to create these agents, how to create the agentic data pipeline and everything. But this is where the data engineering space is heading towards, to be honest. So coming back to this question, should I learn Spark or not? That's the question. So if you are, I would say, like I would categorize you in two buckets. One is you are like me, a senior data engineer, or like some of the fundamentals of data engineering, but you don't know like the new concepts of data engineering, right? Where this space is heading, but you are too comfortable in the old technology that you would not want to go in that direction. That is bucket one. And the bucket two is you are the fresh graduate, you are a student watching this video, which is the most of my audience is are the students. So what I think is the bucket two is gonna take the most advantage out of this. And for you, my advice would be learn the wrappers around these. I will list down some of the wrappers, or some of the services, or some of the tools, skills that you might have or you should have in 2025 as a data engineer down in the description. I would make a separate video for it. But should I learn HDFS and Spark? The answer to that question is this: learn to know how it works. Okay, don't bother details. Don't bother details. I mean, details like how to manage Spark cluster. Oh, what is the particular specific variable that you should be modifying so that the broadcast join can go beyond 100 MBs or 10 MB size or something like that. That is all managed now. That is all. These services are also getting intelligent, right? So what's the point? And it's just an LLM query away. So I would suggest, don't bother details, but learn, like, what is Spark, how it works, why the Spark exists, and what are the disadvantages that the HDFS has that Spark resolves, and everything. Some of the basics of the Sparks, and you know what I mean, right? Don't go in too much detail and everything. Just know the architecture, maybe how the memory is managed in Spark. I guess that's pretty much it. I would say, like, go like 50 to 60% detail. That's it. But what you should learn now is, okay, what you should learn now is the wrappers around Spark. Okay, wrappers around Spark. Learn Kafka. What are dead queues? How to process real time data. Because in coming future as well, the streaming is gonna be the field that is gonna explode. Okay, that is one thing. And the third thing, very important thing, is data engineering. For this is the most important thing. Mark my words. Mark my words. This is the most important thing. Okay, data engineering for, when I say data engineering, it is distributed, of course. Okay, so you should understand the distributed nature of it. The data engineering for audio, video, and images. So basically, non-structured data. Non-structured data. This is going to be the most important field in coming future in terms of data engineering. Managing non-structured data, because of the vision models, because of the popularity of the vision models getting like skyrocketing high. The Gemini model, the OpenAI Sora model, and all of these models are getting popular, and the competition amongst the top companies is gonna go high and high. Plus Meta is working in AI space and everything, sorry, VR space, AR space, and everything. So all of this non-structured data is gonna increase a lot in coming days, and managing that data is very niche category. In distributed way, I'm saying, in distributed, anyone can manage the data in one single machine, right? But managing the data, the big data, in distributed way, because these file types has to be stored on disk and not in memory. So there are very limited options for optimizations. So passing these unstructured files over network, and all of those things gonna be the challenge in coming future that you should learn, or you should focus on. I am personally focusing my goal to learn data engineering distributed way for these particular file formats. And once I learn it, I'm gonna share it with you guys, of course. But in the meantime, let me advise you this. Mark my words. This is going to be the most important skill that you should have, apart from GenAI and LLM, of course, of course, of course. The next question you should ask is, okay, Ameya, does it mean I shouldn't learn the existing way of DE? Existing way of DE. What do I mean by that? I'm learning SQL, I'm learning pandas, I'm learning, all of these notebooks and stuff. I'm learning the Mendelian architecture and everything. Okay, but shouldn't I learn these? So I would say follow my video, which is how I prepared for the interviews. That is one thing, and the data engineering resources, 2024 data engineering resources that I made on my channel, which is the highest popular video on my channel. So watch these two videos and get to know all of those technologies in detail. Of course, get to know all of those technologies in detail. Okay. You should know streaming services like Kafka, Amazon Kinesis Stream, Google's PubSub model. You should know pros and cons of each other. You should know like when to use what. You should understand the system design of the data engineering part, which is given a scenario, how would you design a data pipeline? You should be a good system designer to be a data engineer. I'm telling you guys. Then you should learn SQL. SQL is non-negotiable for data engineering, be it 2025, 2060 or 2060 or something like that. A SQL is non-negotiable skill for a data engineer. You should understand SQL. You should know how to write SQL. Okay. You should know the basics of lead code, like even if you do blind 75, it's totally fine. But you should be able to do those blind 75 on your own with the optimized solutions and everything. And you should know the best practices on how to write the code, like the low level code, I mean the OOP concepts, how to design a data engineering pipeline using OOP concepts, like how to design it in low level, right? That is the most important skill that you should have. But apart from that, your focus should be in 2025, your focus should be on the wrappers and new technology like GenAI, how to build rags, how to build MCP servers, how to build agents, and all of those things. Those skills are gonna be essential. So three main important skills that you should focus on: the wrapper skills that I mentioned, the GenAI ones, the RAG ones, the MCP servers, and all of those skills. How to build agent, how to build agentic pipeline, how to manage those agents, how to schedule those agents, and all of those kinds of stuff. The DevOps plus data science combined is the data engineering, to be honest. Lick ke le lo. And the third thing is the existing concept of data engineering. So this is going to be the future of data engineering. Also too many questions. Oh, I should be even doing data engineering or not, or is data engineering going to be dead soon? Or it's going to be automated? Will AI take my jobs in data engineering in 2025 or not? All of these questions का answer simply है no. But 99% what I think is data engineering, not the nature of the data engineering is going to change for sure. From the conventional data pipelines, it's going to change it to the agentic ones. And that there will be a lot of MCP servers around there. There will be more focus from like in terms of data engineering from the textual data, like some transaction levels, transactional data, or OLAP, OLTP, all of those concepts. The focus is going to shift to the managing unstructured data, how to optimize, how to build data pipelines around this unstructured data, audio, video, images, and all of those kinds of things. Because there are two industries that are going to be boom in coming years is content creation, and the second one is the Gen AI stuff, AI stuff. Okay, so managing all of the content created, you should be a data engineer who can transfer, who is very versed or knowledgeable in all of these things. You know what I mean. So think ahead, look for the future, look around your environment, and I'm telling you, the guys who are in India, you guys are like almost a year or 2 years away from the innovation that is going on in here, San Francisco. I live in the Bay Area. I see like the concepts that are getting introduced in 2 days getting obsolete in 2 months. So I'm already late, to be honest, in building the whole entire series. The MCP servers is an old talk, yesterday's talk. The rags is yesterday's talk, but they are the foundations of what's coming ahead to us. So I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna make you understand. I'm gonna get you to catch the pace. And from that 2 years behind, मैं आपको वहां से खींच लाऊंगा. मैं आपको सब कुछ सिखाऊंगा जो मुझे पता है. बस, 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 बस मेरी एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है, कि मुझे मेरा टारगेट अचीव करने में हेल्प करो, व्हिच इज़ 10,000 सब्सक्राइबर्स ऑन दिस चैनल and 5,000 followers on Instagram within 2 months or before I go to India. That's my target, is 10,000 subscribers and 5,000 followers on Instagram. I'm gonna make series of videos on the already commented people, already asked questions. I'm gonna make a reel out of each question, answering each question. And so make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, which is at the accidental data engineer. That being said, हँसते रहिए, हँसाते रहिए और खुश रहिए, and I will see you at the end.